And how you been? I ain't heard from you in a while.
I just been living life and doing me. How you been?
Oh, I've been good. I've been good. You know what I'm saying? So, we taking all questions and comments. Whoever's on here, if you're in here right now, you might not be,
I think you
but
gotta. We don't have nobody just yet.
nobody yet. All right, yeah, I ain't even check my phone yet, but yeah. So, yeah. So what's going on? What's new? What's new? What's old? you know.
Mm, same old, just hustling and waiting for it to get, summertime. Really.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Everything's good. So, the first thing I want to bring up in this thing and shit, so, you know, the R. Kill situation in this motherfucker.
Oh
I know
shit.
people tired of hearing it and talking about it and everything, but, what's your take on this thing? Are you still bumping his music? You still bumping 12 play of the motherfucking, what's that, the, Chocolate Factory?
Okay, so the thing about it is what R. Kelly is. I still listen to his music. I just don't buy it. I'm not gonna purchase it. I'm not gonna do any of that. But I'm still gonna listen to it. The thing about it,
Yeah.
the thing about it with R. Kelly is he been doing this forever. You know what I'm saying? And I got family and I know people in Chicago that this is like known that R. Kelly's always like young girls. Like this is not nothing new. And a lot of this shit that they bringing up is old as hell. Don't get me wrong, the man can write some good ass music and all that other stuff, but other than that, I'm not putting money in his pocket. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel that.
How do
I
you feel
feel
about R.
that.
Kelly?
I mean, everybody do their own thing. If you fucking with little girls and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Of course you need to be crucified and shit, but it's like, you know, it, you can't kick the man ass if he does have good music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, just like they trying to crucify Michael Jackson, even though he's already dead and shit. Like, damn, you can't motherfucking. If they did what they did, shame on them. Fuck them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the music is still good. So it's like any man that fucks with little kids, little boys, little girls, anything like that, they need to, have their head motherfucking cut off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's also a thing the parents do. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not the parents and all this shit," but the parents got something to do with it too. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know, man. It's like I don't know. Just a lot of shit. 'Cause I know somebody fucking my daughters. I got two daughters. If somebody fucking them, I'm killing the motherfucker. I'm waiting for the police. I call the police my motherfucking self. Like, hey, I killed this motherfucker. He was fucking with my daughters. So, you know.
And see that's how it needs to be. And what people don't want to talk about and they fail to realize is some of these girls parents knew full well on what was going on, but because a check was involved, they didn't care.
Yeah.
Nobody
But
talks about that.
when the check is all gone, that's when they want to be like, oh, he did this to my daughter and
Exactly.
all this shit. Say
Exactly.
we got 7 people. Hey, make stuff be known what's going on.
Hell yeah. Exactly. And see, that's the thing. And the Michael Jackson thing is a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never gonna stop listening to Michael Jackson, like I said, with R. Kelly. But if Michael came out, which he won't come out with nothing, anything new, I'ma buy it because one, one for sure, the FBI investigated Michael Jackson for over 10 years. Wasn't none of this shit out then. They didn't find nothing on Michael. The people that made these documentaries and talking about Michael are two people that have been found to be liars, and one of them used to go with Michael Jackson's niece, and is a scammer. Point blank and period. So that Michael is totally different from R. Kelly, because I know people personally that have dealt with R. Kelly, and it's a known fact in Chicago. If anybody's in here that's from Chicago and listening, knows I'm telling the truth what I'm about to say. There's certain McDonald's and there's certain basketball courts that R. Kelly used to hang out at, so he can catch teenagers, and he would promise girls purses, shoes, fame, and all that. This is not nothing new. And I'm gonna say this, and I and I wish I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm not. R. Kelly gonna get off again, because whether what people think so or not, Chicago still fucks with R. Kelly. R. Kelly very heavy, very heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's gonna go to trial in Chicago, and he's gonna get off again. You got to look at it like this. If people been knowing this man's been doing this for over 20 years, you think that they don't care. They don't care, because at the end of the day, R. Kelly makes good music, and people look at it like, well, it ain't my daughter. You know what I'm saying? That's how they looking at it. But like, I agree with you, Shad, because I have a daughter. At the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. A lot of people will do anything for money, and them parents should be in just as much trouble as R. Kelly. Point blank and period.
And plus, a man's music ain't got shit to do with his personal life.
That's
you know
right.
You know what I'm saying? You can bang R. Kelly all fucking day and night, you know what I'm saying? But still be like, yeah, fuck this man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, R. Kelly done got motherfuckers plenty of pussy, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's old, young, or the same age. You know what I'm saying? That man, he done got plenty of motherfuckers. A lot of kids was made off of R. Kelly. I know I got R. Kelly on the little mixtape I done made. You know, mix CD I done made. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that motherfucker, I got a CD called Fuck Me Part 1. You know what I'm saying? I got one of them R. Kelly songs on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's, but shit, motherfuckers ain't going after the motherfucking Harvey Weinstein, or what's the motherfucker from, they say a motherfucker from Seventh Heaven, and all type of other shit. Motherfuckers ain't going after the white people that's really been doing this shit for maybe 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
Longer than that. You don't ever you don't ever hear about Harvey Weinstein. They are going after him. This is what I be telling people. What they push on the news and what people are seeing is totally different, because Harvey Weinstein trial is coming up, but you don't ever hear about it or see about it. One, because he's a Jew. Second of all, because of who runs Hollywood. A lot of people, what you bring up going on for years, Hugh Hefner, the Playboy dude. This dude published
a 10-year-old girl. I heard about
Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields when she was 10 years old. That's child pornography. Didn't nobody bat an eye or say anything. All them underage girls that they were talking about that Bill Cosby was messing around with was at the Playboy Bunny Ranch, mansion, whatever the fuck. He was doing that there. Nobody asked why were there underage girls at the Playboy Mansion? Nobody asked them questions, but y'all was on Bill Cosby's ass, but y'all didn't say shit about Hugh Hefner. And that man,
like Rick said, he said the priest in the Catholic Church.
Yes,
you know?
Messing with little boys and little girls.
Little boys and shit for I don't know how fucking long. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nobody really going after them and shit. What they name, no big name like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and all this shit. Like, Bill Cosby had women, like 20, 30 years ago and shit, talking about, oh yeah, he like, especially that one bitch that looked like a motherfucking man and shit. That bitch got a high top fade. That motherfucker, like, god damn, Bill, you fuck with her? What's going on?
A lot of drugs were involved.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And see, people just
but see, go ahead.
People, it's if you go by what goes on in the media, you would think, oh, it's this and this, but there's a lot of shit that's not being publicized because they're trying to push an agenda.
Mm-hmm. It's 11 people watching. What's going on? You know, we got Reek in here, you know, the creator of Too Cool to Con. Sorry I took over your channel, man, but, you know, we had to get this off our chest real quick, you know. This Shad and Lisa part, shit, I don't even know, part what? We at part 7, part 8,
I think
something
it's
like that?
part. I think it's part 7.
Part 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rocky 7 in this motherfucker. Knockout blows. If he dies, he dies. So, fuck it.
And see, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
and since we're talking about underage girls, and let's talk about some of these P's who got that pedophile stamp on them. Nobody wants to talk about that either. Because there's some of these P's who y'all see on YouTube who got that P on them for life. Instead of going to prison, some of them decided, well, I'll just be a registered pedophile. And not saying that they are a pedophile or was fucking with like a 14, 15-year-old. Some of them was, pimping 16, 17-year-old girls and got caught. You know what I'm saying? There's some out there that's like that. You can look them up. I'm just saying.
What's going on, bro? He said, I know a brother at age 19 mess with W.
I think he's finishing his thought.
Yeah. But yeah, but you know, a lot of these motherfuckers is like undercovers and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers claim, you know, to be this, be that and shit, but it's like you fucking with little underage girls and shit, man. You can't get you a grown ass woman. There's plenty of fat, nasty, ugly bitches that is just wanting dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, like get you somebody that's grown, man. Like 21 plus, you know, bitch you can bring to the bar or something. You know what I'm saying? You can't release shit. I mean, you know.
Some men don't look at it like that. Some of it is a control thing, and younger women are usually easier to manipulate than an older woman because an older woman be like, get out of here with that bullshit.
Yeah,
More.
cougar, bro. Cougar is, you know what I'm saying? That's over the age, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but go ahead, infamous.
No, I was just saying, like, some men prefer younger women because they're easier to manipulate and they're easier to control because they're young. They don't know. A lot of them haven't lived life, don't know, so they prefer to deal with younger women. And see, a lot of people don't talk about that. And I'm not saying what he did was right or justifying what he did, but R. Kelly was molested by a family member of his.
Yeah,
So this
that, yeah.
so this is just another cycle. A lot of people that get that molest or like stuff like that were molested by somebody. I'm not saying that makes his behavior right, but it's obvious the man is touched, obviously, and is dealing with some type of demons. But yeah, the rumor is that R. Kelly was molested by his older sister. So I agree, bro. Vampires make other vampires. You're right, but see, that doesn't make it right because I know women that were molested and they didn't go out and molest other people. But a lot of times that's what
If you
happens.
was molested by an older woman, shit, that should make you motherfucking want to go get another older woman, older than you. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, what's going on? You know, but you know, everybody got their motherfucking Alex Lee. What's going on? Where you calling out of? This is my first time seeing you on here though. It's easier, like you said, to manipulate. But that pedophilia shit is like a mental disorder. That's true.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm. But still, sometimes, you know, some motherfuckers can overcome that shit, man.
That's
You
right.
can't let it get the best of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, I don't know, because it's like, man, that's just kind of hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers ain't no pedophiles and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't be in the head of a pedophile, but people do what they do and live how they live. You know. Watch Antoine Fisher on the chick
Yeah.
school. Couldn't be with the chick for years. Yeah, I haven't seen that full movie though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
he
like
was
check that.
Antoine Fisher was beat and he was molested by a girl in one of his foster families.
Okay.
He endured a lot of abuse in the foster care system. And the thing about it is, Famous Dex, it's based on a real story. It's based on a book. I heard the book is
Yeah,
just
the
as good.
Antoine Fisher.
Yeah, I heard the book is just as good as the movie. Yeah, that movie is a trip. Have you been
That's
in
what
here
how
before,
everybody
Famous
feeling,
Dex?
man. What y'all, y'all got anything y'all wanna I know people been commenting, bro, Alex Lee, famous Dex, anybody else? It's 9 people, only like what 3, 4 is commenting. So what's going on? Who's all in here? State your name, stay where you from. Alex Lee say from North Carolina.
Okay.
Okay, how the weather down there? North Carolina. Over there, up there, down there? Yeah, down there, because I'm in Minnesota, so. Rick, you still on here? You got any questions or comments? As we taking over your channel for a quick minute.
Famous Dex from Texas, Fort Worth. That's the Dallas
Okay.
area.
Okay.
I love
Next.
Dallas.
Thick as hell, treat you good. What? What's thick as hell?
Where's old
Look
school been
like
hiding? You gotta ask Reek that, bro. I don't know where old school been at.
old school. I don't know, man. I don't think Reek. Think when they hit him up, man, go straight to the little answer machine. So I don't know. He probably hibernating for a minute. We got all this snow and shit. So it's like, you know, he'll probably be back on here soon. As soon as I give Reek back his channel. You know. As soon as be the infamous giving back his channel, we take it over for the night. So okay, you here? You got any questions or comments, anything about what we was talking about, Rick?
I don't think it's
What's your thing? Is you still bump? Will you still bump R. Kelly, or is you just like fuck it? Fuck him, fuck his music, all that shit.
okay. I think the stuff with black celebrities is a smoke screen, but I said if you only exclusively get your news from the news, then that's what you're gonna see. But if you read other media outlets like from around the world or not that's published here, you will see that there's a lot of more stuff going on, like pedophilia rings that deal with the White House and all the other stuff that they're trying to suppress. So it's not just a black thing, is you just got to look outside the lens. And for
You gotta look for the shit that ain't being posted on social
that's
media, on
right.
the on TV and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, they ain't said shit about Harvey Weinstein ever since his little shit. You know what I'm saying? I heard that shit one time.
Yeah.
And after that, like, everything is R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, now Michael Jackson and shit. Like, But Alex, I ain't asked how the ladies was, but now that you told me, I might have to take a trip to North Carolina, though. He said they nice and thick and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do
Treat you right.
do I think
Right.
R. Kelly did it? Yeah, I think R. Kelly did it. If you listen to when we first came on, I know people that live in Chicago, that are from Chicago, that are personal with the situation. Yes, that motherfucker did it. R. Kelly, excuse me, is a real life pedophile. He likes young girls. He, I have a friend. I don't want to put my business out there, but that McDonald's R. Kelly went to when he got out, he used to frequent there and look for girls. He showed up at a prom, mind you. This was when he was in his 30s at a prom trying to get with girls. There's a Pacific basketball court. He would go and scope out young females. That is real. Now hold them against their will. I don't know any of that type of shit. But like I said, R. Kelly, he may not be doing it now, but R. Kelly is guilty as fuck when it comes to fucking with younger women. Yes, R. Kelly likes younger women. Point blank, period.
Right, and there you have it. Live from 5.
Shut up, Shad.
Channel 2 Cool.com. News channel. Breaking news. Said the nigga likes some young.
He likes them young.
Tender. Young and tender.
That's talk to anybody that's from Chicago. That's for real. Not somebody that just likes to yell that shit. Talk to people that for real from Chicago, that was in Chicago in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they will tell you how R. Kelly been getting down. Do people forget that this motherfucker was married to Aaliyah when she was 15? You're not gonna marry.
You know what? They said Jay-Z was fucking with Beyonce when she was like 16.
I believe it.
You know?
Jay-Z's
And
like,
they say he was fucking with I think Foxy Brown or something.
yes.
You know?
Yes. Because when Foxy Brown first came out, she was 16.
And they said he was fucking with her then. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
It's a lot of motherfuckers, just like motherfuckers is old girl that the little white girl that be cussing and shit. She like got an Italian last name, Bugatti or some shit like that. They say motherfuckers been fucking with her too. She like 15, 16. She was on like Dr. Phil or some shit, and she like some shit, man.
That's right, Dex. That's right. If Jay-Z don't do what they say, he is next on the chopping block.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna have to say negative, Reek. The Women of Brewster Place is actually based on a book, and that book came out before Oprah even met Gail.
Met her girlfriend.
Yeah, they do have a special relationship, but if you Google the Women of Brewster's Place, that actually came out before she met Gail. But yes, I believe that they're together, and Stedman is just a beard for their special relationship. And Oprah is another one that takes commands. That's why her and Gail, that's why they do certain things and say certain things. So it's all bullshit.
Harvey Weinstein, I seen the picture of her and Harvey Weinstein she kissing him on the cheek and shit. Like, okay, you supporting this pedophile shit, but
Yep.
I bet you still have to show. You be trying to interview R. Kelly, like, why are you doing this? Why are you that shit like that? But, she got her sidekick that interview him. I ain't watched the whole interview and shit. I just seen little shit motherfuckers been posting this shit, like, like, yeah, nigga, you fighting for your life, nigga, because you on some wrong shit.
He fighting for his life because, and see, that's the thing. Another thing that people need to realize. Why is it that R. Kelly done wrote for Michael Jackson? He done sang with Celine Dion. He done wrote for so many people. He's been making hits since the 90s. Why does this nigga not have $100,000 for bond? Why is this nigga behind on child support? That's when you guys need to start asking questions like, if this nigga got all this publishing and all this money, well, he should. Why does he not? That's when people need to start asking these questions. And then you'll see why they're trying to get him the fuck up out of here. This nigga wrote for Michael Jackson. And you're telling me he don't have $100,000? Because somebody bailed out R. Kelly. R. Kelly didn't put that money up.
I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson paid the nigga $100,000 to write the motherfucking song. You know what I'm saying?
And then he's behind.
But you see, But you see, he paying all these motherfuckers off not to say shit, so that's probably why he don't have
He don't. He
$100,000
don't, and he's
to
paying.
motherfucking.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. When you
Right. Go
go
ahead. Go
ahead,
ahead.
when you write
No,
for
I was just gonna say he had $100,000. But go ahead, finish
he
your thought.
doesn't. That's the thing. When you write for people, you when you write and produce for people, you get a check for life. That's why it's important to own your royalties versus, you know what I'm saying? So if he's wrote for R. Kelly, he's wrote for Avant, he's wrote for Joe, he's wrote for Michael Jackson, he's wrote for Celine Dion, he's wrote for Usher, he's
Houston,
that's what I'm
all
saying.
type
So if
of
he's wrote for all these people and he don't have $169,000 to pay child support, where is his money going? Who owns his publishing? Because obviously R. Kelly doesn't.
No,
Because
they said he don't own his publishing.
somebody else paid for his. That's why I'm saying do not be surprised if R. Kelly gets off, because somebody paid his back child support, which was $169,000, and somebody put up $100,000 for his bail, which is over a quarter of a million dollars. Was over $250,000. So you're telling me that Chicago don't fuck with R. Kelly? That's what I'm saying. So don't be surprised if he gets off again.
Like Reese said, secret societies give a lot of these celebrities as well as YouTube stars passes. You know? Because I believe, man, that Rick hit me up to that little secret society shit and all that shit. Motherfuckers, that's just real, man. Motherfuckers think this is a game and, it's just that. But nowadays, motherfuckers is putting that shit out in the motherfucking spotlight. Like, yeah, we're involved in the secret society, Illuminati, and all this shit. Motherfuckers just thinking like, oh yeah, he's just playing. Yeah, let's just listen to his music. Let's hear it. That's why a lot of these motherfuckers is popping pills and doing drugs and shit. Like before, it was about the drug dealer. Now it's about motherfuckers that's doing the damn drugs and shit, making records and shit, and all type of shit, man. Like that shit, that's why I don't even fuck with these new cats, man. They got a little stylist. When have you ever known for a real rapper to have a damn stylist and shit? Like, come on now, man. Like, what the fuck? They got you wearing these tight-ass clothes, you sagging and saying, man, damn, come on, man. Let your nuts breathe a minute, man. Damn, what's going on? This shit.
Yeah, because I was gonna say to Alex Lee, they're saying the rumor is that R. Kelly is illiterate, so they're saying like he never understood any contract he signed, and that's why he was getting exploited by all these people because he can't read very well. And they used to say like when he wrote songs, he didn't actually write the song down; he would sing and have somebody else write it.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask that question, like if he can't read or shit like that, like how the fuck does he make all these damn songs and write for people and shit? They shouldn't say he write for people. They should say like he sings it for people. You know what I'm saying? Then they, come across with their own shit.
Yeah, they said that somebody would be in the studio with them and he would sing and all that other type of stuff, and then the person would write it down because he's for real illiterate. That's another thing that came out. And I was gonna say to bro is R. Kelly's his own downfall. I'm sorry. Like, that's just, I don't feel like they're taking him out. I feel like they're like, he's going to take the fall because we want people to be focused on R. Kelly and not focused on that the U.S. government is involved in a sex trafficking ring that really traffics little kids. And I'm not talking about 12 and 13-year-olds. I'm talking about 8, 9, 10, 7-year-olds that they're having sex with these kids and using them for rituals. They don't talk about that. If you guys don't believe me, Google Pizzagate. They squashed that shit real quick.
Famous Dex, yeah, these dudes' jeans be tighter than they girls, man. Like, damn, they girls wear more baggier jeans than them, man. It's like, shit, nigga, damn. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's 14 people in here, man. Who all, you know what I'm saying? We only getting like, let me see, four comments, 4 questions, comments, all
right.
that shit. only 4 people being known.
And
So of
that's,
course, Reek, he probably don't count as one, but
yeah. And that's the thing. That's the reason why they took out Michael Jackson, because he owned half of Sony. When he started calling Tony Mottola the devil, that's when they was like, oh, we got to get him out of here.
yep, send that doctor. They push controversy and buffoonery constantly through numbers versus the ones that reveal censored, pay attention to the manipulation. Yes. What do you think about those?
American descendants of slaves.
Okay.
Okay, see, with that, Dex, that's a slippery slope, because if you are black, I would say 7 times out of 10, your people got here on a boat. The difference between us and the people in the Caribbean is they got there first and we got here second. What a lot of people don't understand is, in Brazil, 51% of the population in Brazil is black, but you wouldn't know that because they don't publicize that. More Africans got dropped off in the Caribbean than they did in the United States. I feel like that type of talk is a way to defer us and cause strife in between us, when we both have the same goals in mind, is we need to be trying to figure out who's trying to screw us. If you do your history, you'll know that. They don't tell you that, just like in Argentina. 35% of the population in Argentina is black. You wouldn't know that because they don't publicize that. When you think of South America, you think of Latino people that speak Spanish, but most of them people look like black Americans, but they speak Spanish. But they won't let you see that because like here in America, your news is whitewashed.
Exactly. Too big cause he wanted to buy ABC. Yeah, I heard that.
They sure did. He sure did. And that's when they killed his son Ennis. You can look into that.
Yep. If so, that's why they went after him. Yep. It's absolutely true. He wanted to buy NBC.
He was a stay in your lane Negro type of thing.
Yeah. And I think that's why they start pushing all them fucking women on him and shit. Like, oh, he drugged me. We was drinking and he, massaged me and pull out the dick and all that shit. Yeah, they still trying to crucify that man.
The man is old. Let him die. Like, just let people. And see, that's the thing. Like, they talking about this, but nobody talks about. Nobody talks about what is right in front of your face. It's because they pushing this agenda. They did hurry up and get Bill's ass.
Yeah, they got him quick. They're 80 years old, motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
Like, damn, y'all gonna put this 80-year-old man behind bars and shit? Like, what the fuck? He damn near already dying. He can't see out one eye or whatever, I guess, unless that's just a little.
No, that's true. He can't see. That's why when he started going out in public, he would wear them damn glasses.
Yeah. And they got motherfuckers from the show and shit that was like, yeah, I seen that. Why didn't you bring this shit out 20 fucking years ago when the Cosby Show was on? You know what I'm saying? Why all of a sudden you want to bring this shit out now since he's getting prosecuted and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all should have been knowing that shit. And I think it was wasn't it only one of the motherfuckers? It was the dude, what the fuck is his name? The one that was fucking with Denise that on the Cosby Show and shit, the little military motherfucker.
Oh, Joseph. So I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the only motherfucker that was saying some shit, wasn't he? Or was it some other motherfucker? That's the only motherfucker I heard that was saying some.
Okay, so Dex, I don't fuck with them, period. First of all, Miss Harris is she's Indian and Jamaican, and she don't even fuck with her Jamaican side, and she's Indian as in with the dot, and the Indian that she is the Indians that are light skinned who don't fuck with the dark skinned Indians. And see, that's another thing that they don't talk about in the media because you don't see it is that 65% of people in India India are dark skinned, but you wouldn't see that because the media portrays it like whatever.
Just like they said on it's a movie that one of the white motherfucking actors is in, the Kings of Egypt or some shit like that. Like, them motherfuckers is black. Why they got a whole bunch of white motherfuckers portraying like they was the little shit? I ain't seen the movie or nothing, but I just heard about, motherfuckers saying that shit.
And Cory Booker, you could look him up. I don't even like even though it's a gift and a curse, you can Google people. And Google's been, and I've been trying to tell people too, Google, you can't trust Google either because the real truth a lot now has been buried in the fifth, sixth, seventh pages because people just go to Google and look at the first thing that pops up. Google has been tampered with for I don't know how long, and Google actually was started by the CIA, which you can look that up too as well. So it's you got to look at who you getting your information from and why they telling you and what is the reason behind it.
All right, I got a question. Do any of y'all think that Michael Jackson actually touched kids or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
You don't?
Nope.
Okay. Because even though he got found not guilty or whatever and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't think he touched them kids or did whatever.
Nope.
I heard a thing. They was saying like the kids' parents was there and shit too. You know what I'm saying?
See, and this is the thing that people need to look at. Michael Jackson never had a childhood. Number one, that's one reason why I used to hang out with little kids all the times. Michael Jackson did not care for an adults because he even said in numerous interviews that children are innocent. They're not trying to take nothing from him. They just want to be his friend. If you got people who your whole life been using you, what are you gonna do? I don't believe Michael. I think Michael paid all them people off because he didn't want people to know about his personal life, about how he lived, all that type of stuff. There's interviews of, I forgot what his name is, where he came forward where he said that he was propositioned by many people to come out and lie on Michael Jackson. They will pay him this amount of money. And he wouldn't do it.
It wasn't that, what the fuck, Jordan Carter, what the fuck his name
No,
was?
I can't remember what dude's name is, but he said that he was propositioned more than one time by people to have him say that Michael Jackson touched his kids. And he was like, he ain't gonna do it. You have to look at it like, and that scheme of things is if Michael Jackson was under surveillance for over 10 years by the FBI and they didn't find no information on him molesting and touching little kids, then what does that tell you? It's not a good look to be sleeping in the same bed with kids. I understand that. But I don't even know if he even slept in the same bed as them kids. That's the thing, like, this society is so sexualized that when you think about a person, an adult, sleeping in the same bed with a child, you automatically go to sex. I'm not saying that it's right, but that's the first thought that everyone thinks that, oh, he slept in the same bed with kids. He probably touched them. Did your parents touch you? No, the propaganda machine will never be controlled by anybody of color. Oprah may be a billionaire, but you got to understand, Oprah answers to somebody. Everybody answers to somebody. Jay-Z and Beyonce answer to somebody. Oprah answers to somebody. Who else is?
The president
answers to somebody. Everybody answers to somebody. You don't become big in this world if you don't answer to somebody. See, I didn't know that, bro. And see, that's the thing. You lied on that man, and Michael used to take in sick kids. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit. The Michael Jackson thing is bullshit. R. Kelly is not bullshit. And I don't give a fuck who don't agree with me. R. Kelly is, I like I said, that man has a problem.
He even said he had a problem, I think. You know what I'm saying? So it's
He is
like,
a sexual deviant, and you guys can look up the word of what a deviant is. R. Kelly is a sexual deviant. Period. Point blank. Period. Now that case, I don't that no. Michael's totally different from R. Kelly.
plus Michael's dead, so it's like, he can't
Right.
defend all
He
that shit. But like R.
exactly.
Kelly's alive, and he tries to defend himself, but it's like the shit. The motherfucker, ever since the surviving R. Kelly shit came out, like everybody want the motherfucking like, oh, he did this, he did that, and all that. If the man did, he did. Put his ass under the jail. But if he didn't do the shit, then I don't know. I know motherfuckers is getting paid for that surviving R. Kelly shit.
Right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, if I get paid, I say some shit too. Yeah, that nigga touched me. You know what I'm saying?
People, and that should tell you where
So
people's
I can get
integrity
his face,
lies.
Where's my check? Let me get
There
that.
you go. Exactly. Exactly. That's all motherfuckers care about is a fucking check. But when you die, you can't take that fucking money with you. That's what people fail to realize. People will do so much shit for the dollar bill, but at the end of the day, that dollar bill ain't gonna save you. That's what people fail to realize.
Who had a documentary about childhood Michael Jackson? About his father bringing prostitutes to the room?
Michael Jackson's dad and his brothers used to bring women up. His whole sense of sexual was warped. And what do you mean the shit really might be about what? Yeah, R. Kelly went to a prom in Chicago. I know, like, R. Kelly is, that shit is for real. For real. For real. I need to know what Alex Lee's talking about with MJ. That Wade Robinson dude is a scammer. Google him. He is a scammer, and that other dude. They full of shit. They full of shit. R. Kelly, that shit is for real. Like I said, I know people personally that have dealt with people that I cannot go there because I don't want to put their business on the street. But R. Kelly is for real a sexual deviant. There is McDonald's. There is a particular high school. People that are from Chicago know what I'm talking about, where he would hang out at and pick up girls.
Yeah, they said the R. Kelly, McDonald's he went to when he got out and shit.
You have to look at it like this. I blame the parents, and then they be like, well, I blame the girls. If a girl is 14, 15 years old, she can say yes to sex, but you have to think about it. Your brain, the frontal lobe of your brain, which considers the logic and the final reasoning, is not fully developed until you are 25 years old. You can Google that too. Your brain is not fully developed until you are 25 years old. When you start drinking, and you're drinking, and they say the legal age of drinking is 21, that helps destroy and delays the development of your frontal lobe. Drinking alcohol, you can Google that too. If your brain is not fully developed by the time you're 25, any what is the word I'm looking for? Anything you do and say you are, and decisions you make can come into play. That's why I said, even if a girl consented to sex at 16, you are not the same individual at 16 you are at 25, and you're not the same individual at 25 you are at 35. Everybody knows this. R. Kelly, I'm gonna listen to his music. I'm not gonna buy it, but like I've been said, I know people. R. Kelly is a sexual deviant. Period. I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna stand on that.
Right. There you have it. Right. Anybody else got any questions, comments? You want to bring up something else? You know, we've been talking about R. Kelly for
Right the whole time.
nice little high. You know, but this way it's all good. You know, you got to know your history, your present, your future. You know. Who's still on here? So there's 10 people in there. You know, Reek in here. Bro, you still there? Famous Dex, Alex Lee. Who else? Shit, that's about it, eh? Yeah, that's all the people that have been commenting.
I know. He said he's still here.
Listening to figure out what their next little topic gonna be. So you know, hey, take it in. You know, breathe it in. Take a deep, long, deep breath, and you know, we'll see you on your channel. Who's still in here? Holla. Say something. Say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
Famous Dex said he's there.
Okay.
And Reek made a good point like 5 minutes ago. I was too busy going on a tangent. He said, think about it. CIA agents basically say wear plain clothes every day. They're everyday people. You never, he said, you see them on the newscast, YouTube personalities. When have you ever seen a CIA agent in an official uniform? And he's right. CIA don't have official uniforms.
Yeah, I don't know what a uniform looks like. I ain't never seen one. So, shit, you know?
To be honest,
just like the motherfuckers that's in here that ain't saying nothing.
That's right.
Probably got the CIA uniforms on. You know, you can't see them, you can't hear them, you don't know what they're saying. So, make yourself be known. CIA. Or maybe CIs. Confidential informants. Said the rape shield law prohibited Mike Tyson lawyers from bringing up the accusation in court. I don't even think Mike Tyson raped somebody though. For real.
See, I was young when that happened, so I can't really speak on that.
Yeah. I don't know all about what happened, but it's like, you know, and it was Robin Givens, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, he was married to Robin Givens or going with her, but the woman that accused him was like some type of pageant woman. Yeah, Oprah's always quick to crucify black men because that's the game that they have her playing.
Yeah. Just like she tried to crucify Dave Chappelle. A little show, like, yeah. So he was like, yeah, the motherfuckers want me to put a dress on. Like, shit, I'm not finna put no fucking dress on. What the fuck you mean? Like, shit. Fuck that, man. If you want me to put a dress on, whether it's a dress or my career, fuck that. My career is gone because I'm not putting no fucking dress on for you motherfuckers. Dress and makeup on is and that's the motherfucking biggest thing they gonna, you know, think of you in. Oh, he was in the dress. Yeah, that's how he got the little fame and all that shit. Nah, fuck that shit. No dress goes on me, motherfucker. I don't have a pussy, so what the fuck? Alright, who all still in here? Oprah act like he was ugly as fuck back then. Yeah. Oprah always been ugly though. I'm not to find this motherfucker, but goddamn, Oprah, shit. I mean that motherfucking money. motherfucking money make her look good as hell. I'll fuck Oprah. Oh, I can get some money. Don't treat me like Stebbin though. Put me in a little outhouse over there. You don't think who did as well?
He talking about Mike Tyson. He said he don't think Mike Tyson did it either.
Mm-hmm. Just another black man with money that they want to put some on.
Kevin Hart has been a fucking sellout. He could eat a dick too.
Yeah, I don't really like Kevin Hart, man. I seem
He's
like
not
all
fucking.
his
He's
little
not fucking
comedies and
funny.
shows, all he do is scream and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? You ain't got shit else to do but scream and shit. Like, what the fuck? Is you reminiscing back in the days how they motherfucker got up in your ass and shit for you to be the top motherfucking man right now?
Kevin Hart is corny and he's not funny. Which Mike is a weirdo? You talking about Mike Tyson or Michael Jackson? Because I never said Michael Jackson wasn't a weirdo. I just said he didn't mess with them kids, but Michael Jackson was weird. What do you expect a man that never had a childhood and that this man is a superstar and he's still backstage getting beat by his dad? They was in the Jackson 5. He is a superstar and you still getting beat by your father, who you making money for. I think Joseph stopped beating them when they was like, what, in their teenage years?
Yeah.
You got to think about that. He never had a childhood.
What's good, Larry?
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, he said white folks love seeing the black man being feminized.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they do love that.
I
They the
agree.
main ones that tell the black man to be feminized. Like, oh, we got to reach out to, our female listeners and fans and all that. Fuck that. No, fuck that. You ain't finna feminize me, motherfucker. I'm a man. They can't be feminized.
He said Mike Tyson was a weirdo. That's another thing that people don't talk about. Mike Tyson was abused too as a child. He was in foster care. People don't talk about that either.
Yeah. Watch the movie. Shit. Yeah, but you can't put that you was in foster care and all that shit to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, an excuse and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Meghan Markle has African descent. Her mom is Jamaican, a light skinned Jamaican lady, and her dad is white. Yes, he has a dark vibe because he was abused. A lot of people don't know Mike Tyson was abused, like bad, physically, left for homeless. Like he really went through it when he was a child. People don't understand that trauma as a child warps your brain and your emotional being and all that other stuff. And if you don't get help for it, that carries on with you for the rest of your life. Look at DMX. That's my favorite fucking rapper. And that man is till this day is still fighting demons from when he was a child.
Yeah. Still fucked up at the head from that shit.
What Jamaicans? I know plenty of Jamaicans that claim that they black. What the problem is they have created a narrative around black folks in America that we're shiftless and lazy and that people from other countries don't want to deal with us. That's the problem. I don't know what Jamaicans you fuck with, but the Jamaicans I know, they're black. They just don't want to be assimilated with the stereotypes of American blacks. Exactly, Reek. And in fact, it landed in Jamaica first before it landed here. That's what they don't teach people. That let's just say we'll do the numbers. If there was 100 slave ships, 85 of them bitches landed in the Caribbean, 15 landed in America. So if you do the math that way, that's why you have more people in South America and in the Caribbean that are black than you do in America, but you won't know that because they don't tell you that.
That's that shit they don't want you to know.
Dominicans are black. Cubans are black. Just because a motherfucker speaks Spanish does not mean they're not black. I love DMX, Larry. Like, I love DMX.
You know, he going on tour though.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, yes.
What the fuck?
I'm not going to typecast all Jamaicans, just like you want one Jamaicans typecasting black people from America. Because, like I said, the Jamaicans I fuck with, they claim they're black. The people who really don't like to claim they're black are Dominicans. Now, if you would have said that, I would have to agree with you. But Jamaicans, no. Exactly, bro. I agree with you. That's why I said that's the problem with R. Kelly. Is R. Kelly is a victim of abuse and he abuses other people and he thinks what he's doing is normal.
Love all people, whether they black or they white.
Larry, you a fool. He a mess.
Who's all in here? Let it be known.
Exactly, famous Dex. He spilled the big. That's what I said. Their families, and I'm not trying to say this is right, and I'm not trying to talk about nobody's family, but R. Kelly's family is full of abusers. If his sister was abusing him, who abused her? You know what I'm saying? It's a chain in that fucking family.
Yep.
I knew something was wrong with R. Kelly. If you go back to, he said it in more than one interview. He said if he could, he would have married his mother. What type of
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Oedipus
He's like,
shit
yeah,
is that?
when she drank the coffee and had her lips on,
Yes.
lipstick on, you know, I like put my lips on it to make sure because I had a big crush on my mom. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck? What the fuck is you talking about?
Exactly. That man, when that should tell y'all all y'all need to know about his psyche right there. I don't give a fuck how good he step in the name of love is. The motherfucker's a sexual deviant.
She's like, I don't care how good this nigga step in the name of love.
The man called himself the Pied Piper. That come on, like Google that shit.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Pied Piper is somebody that does something and all the little kids
He
come
plays
and all that
he
shit.
plays he plays a musical instrument and puts the kids in a trance and they follow him.
Yep. And see, back then when he started saying, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's a Pied Piper. That's what he called himself. Then you think about this shit like, whoa, hold up, what the fuck? Right, man?
That's the thing about what
like they say, listen to the lyrics.
That's right.
It'll tell you the whole motherfucking shit. Your mind is telling me no, but your body's saying, you know what I'm saying? All that shit.
if you I always say this. If you pay attention to somebody long enough and listen to them long enough and watch them long enough, you can only act for so long, and eventually you're going to slip up and the real you's going to come out. That's what people fail to realize. It could be 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, but a person can only act for so long. You just got to have enough patience and maybe even enough sense to even catch it.
And he wrote AJ number to number, didn't he?
Yes. And again, and he married Aaliyah when she was 15. What man you know marries a 15-year-old and is not having sex with her? Stop playing.
Uh, all this shit's coming to light. What's done in the dark comes to light, they say.
Look, like I said, Alex, I still listen to his music, but I'm not buying any of it. Period.
I listen to his music, you know what I'm saying? It's, hey, like I said before earlier, you know what I'm saying? His music got motherfuckers a lot of pussy before they know what the fucking actual outcome of this shit was or is. You know? You can't doubt the man. He's like a good musician, you know what I'm saying? He can sing, come out with good songs and shit. But once you think of this shit, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? This nigga was talking, out of all the songs, the nigga was talking about young females and shit. Like, what, you know, what the fuck? Yeah, that's just what I said, bro. He wrote AJ number to number. And just like I see the motherfucking things, it's motherfuckers is doing, you know, it's some shit like motherfuckers is still listening to R. Kelly even though he did that to little kids and shit. Motherfuckers is still eating Subway even though the motherfucker that made Subway is fucking touching little boys and, you know what I'm saying, is in jail for child pornography and shit.
That's true.
Motherfucker ain't gonna stop eating Subway because of that shit. Shit, I just had Subway the other day, motherfucker. Shit. That shit was mighty good too, motherfucker. Yeah.
That's true, Reek, and thank you, bro. I just like to read in my downtime, and uh I like to read, and people can only act for so long. That's just period. You learn that. I learned that from being in the life that I've led. Like I said, to each his own, Alex. I'm still gonna listen to some of his shit, but I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna support him in that way. But I'm not about to. I'm not. Did two Nigerians jump you? Who are you talking to, Nigerians? Like, what do you mean? That's right, bro. I didn't know Confucius said that, but I'm just saying, if you can only act for so long, you can only put on a front for so long, and then even if it's for a millisecond, someone's going to show you who they truly are.
Like a lot of niggas showing what they are on this channel right here. You know?
Yeah.
Talking about other motherfuckers, you know?
Oh, you talking about that Jesse Smollett? I don't even want to get into that shit because I gotta get going soon, and I don't even want to talk about that bullshit. Because again, I know people from Chicago, and right when I heard that shit, I said it was bullshit. Right when I heard that dude talk about he got jumped, and then they threw bleach on him and put a noose around his head, and to where the place where he got jumped at, everybody knows. Again, I know people from Chicago. They don't tell you, Chicago got cameras and microphones on every fucking corner, but they don't have no footage of that shit.
Let me get the Alex Lee comment right. I mean, famous Dex. Yeah, I got some Subway the other day. Shit, now I still got the rappers in this motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying?
He was saying that because
Subway is good. Shit, you can't motherfucking doubt that.
He was saying,
I'm not touching kids or doing, you know what I'm saying, child pornography and all that shit. So Subway is good. Shit, I'm pretty sure you have Subway within the past few motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, go ahead, Miss Infamous. Go
I
ahead,
was
finish what
saying
you're
he
saying.
was saying that because of that Jesse Smollett when he said that he was at Subway at 3 o'clock in the morning and all that other shit. And see, that's the thing. Like that particular Subway, I think closed at 10. I don't know, but scratch all that bullshit. Like I said, everybody knows that particular area he was at. They got cameras and microphones on every fucking corner, and that was over there off by Lake Michigan, which y'all know anywhere close to a body of water, and it's negative 45 degrees outside. What the fuck?
Why would you walk the Subway? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You better order some motherfucking room service or something. Shit, fuck it.
That was right in the middle of the polar vortex, and you were outside and you got jumped. Like I knew, like I said, I know people from Chicago personally, and I know that was some bullshit right when I heard it.
You call who rated R?
Oh, R. Kelly, he called him rated R. Told you that motherfucker's a sexual deviant.
Man, I used to want that to be one of my nicknames, rated R, but shit, now that you said that nigga's rated R, I'm not that rated. I'm not that rated now, you know what I'm saying? Call me Rated Shad. That's my new name, Rated Shad. Rated Shad and the infamous Lisa Smith in this bitch. No? Yeah, but you know, yeah, that Jesse Smollett, whatever the fuck his name is, man, he like, man. They said they got him on like what, 16 counts and all that
And
shit.
see, that's bullshit too. Whether you agree with the man being gay or any of that type of stuff, 16 counts. You got motherfuckers out here killing people. You got people doing way more and getting way less time and way less counts. It's fucking ridiculous. Uh they're trying to make an example out of him, really.
Yeah.
Exactly, Reek. Wasn't nobody getting Subway at no 3 o'clock in the morning and it's a negative 45 degrees outside and you're by Lake Michigan. That particular area where he is literally in Lake Michigan. Anybody that knows, if you're by the lake, if it's negative 50, you're by that water, it's probably even colder over there. That's why I said it was bullshit from the
Like
get-go.
negative 80 in that motherfucker. You by the water.
Right.
Nigga, you couldn't wait till the next day to get some Subway if you wanted some Subway or something. You need a Subway that damn bad that you had to go outside, motherfucking 50 below weather and get some Subway. And all of a sudden, oh, you get jumped. Who else is outside at that time? Nobody, man. And 3,500, nigga, you'd have had to pay me more, nigga. Cause shit, I'm getting in trouble along with your ass. And them motherfuckers snitch quick as hell, too.
Because they want to be able to become U.S. citizens. When you have been convicted of a felony, you cannot become a U.S. citizen if you're over here on a visa.
Mm. All right, we down to 9. We're all in here. Let self be known. Who's all in here? We know Reek in here. We know Larry in this thing, Larry. And Famous Dex, you still in here? Alex Lee, you still in here? Bro. I don't know if Bro's still in here. He ain't coming in a while, though. Yeah, Larry here. Famous Dex here. Who else? Y'all questions, comments, anything? Know what y'all want to talk about? It's open freestyle. Even though the little R. Kelly thing took us about a damn near hour, you know. Reek, still in this thing? Want to apologize again, man, for taking over the channel. You know, me and Lisa, me and the infamous had to, go through some things. Okay. Everybody's still in here that been commenting. We got about 5 more that's uncountable for. Dr. Umar in the school. What school? He got a school or something?
His school, the people that, oh my God, like y'all killing me tonight. Y'all killing me tonight. Y'all killing me tonight. I'm telling you. He was trying to start a school per se, and everybody that donated to his fund have to give the money back because there is no school being built. He basically, in that aspect, he's basically been exposed as a fraud. Umar Johnson has made some very stuff he says is very accurate, but the school part,
yeah,
fraud.
I know who he is and all, but I didn't know he tried to come out with a school.
Yeah, everybody that donated is getting their money back.
Cause I seen his little comment about R. Kelly and all that shit. I was looking at it on a little social media, whatever. And he was spitting some real type shit. Reginald Green, what's going on? Well, go ahead, finish what you're saying, though, Lisa.
No, I was just gonna say he has to give them people their money back because there is no school being built.
LeBron ain't leaving nowhere, Larry, man. He still got 3 more years going, man. And they ain't gonna trade him because they getting all that money, whether they win or losing. Yeah, the video showing the building like he bought it.
That nigga ain't buy shit.
What did you say? He ain't buy shit?
No, that nigga didn't buy shit. If he did, he wouldn't be sending people checks of the money that they gave him.
But he be spitting some shit though.
He really does.
Breakfast Club and all that, but there's a lot of fake leaders out there though.
That's right. I'm hoarse, Larry, because if you play back some of this, I was getting heated because this R. Kelly shit it gets to me, and I've been up I'm going on being up almost for like 24 hours, so trying to get this bread, so I am hoarse.
Alright, get it. Chopping the good, are really a fraud, like bro, polite.
See, y'all really want me to go in. I can't tonight. Oh my God.
Go in for a quick minute, for a quick 5 minutes real quick. Before you smash out.
I will say this. Yes, Brother Polite is a fucking fraud. Tariq Nasheed is Tariq Nasheed don't give a fuck about black people. All he cares about is how to get the biggest bag. If you go and Google Tariq Nasheed, the nigga came out with a book called Mac, and the nigga wanted to be a fucking pimp. That's where he thought he was getting money. He seen niggas wasn't biting on that, so he jumped on the black conscious wagon. That's where that nigga gets his money
that
from.
Nigga from MTV and shit. one of them damn channels on MTV like some years back or some shit. You know?
So that's where Tariq Nasheed, Brother Polite, been exposed. The nigga was on Vlad's channel wearing a checkerboard. Google that. Y'all, look, your girl is been up for a minute and I'm trying. Y'all hit me with all these questions. And I'm like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I hustle, but I'm very intelligent. I just don't say shit. But yes, Polite is a fraud, a fucking fraud. That nigga, these niggas know that we as a people are looking for leaders and we want knowledge, and they know that people are willing to pay money or give their time and other things to be enlightened and want to be able to help people, and they know that, and so they take advantage of people with that.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. He was on MTV teaching the white dude how to play the game and shit.
Exactly. And now all of a sudden, this nigga is conscious and he got hidden colors. Everything that's in hidden colors, all y'all gotta do is pick up a book and it's right fucking there. All he is doing is taking what is already in books, in libraries, and putting on DVD form and charging niggas for it.
Damn, I was trying to get Dr. Umar, whatever, on motherfucking on this channel, but I don't know, you know. Just trying to see what he had to say or whatever. But hey,
go ahead. Dr. Umar, what he says is the truth, but his actions are like everybody else's. He's for the money.
Yeah, so he'll probably want to get taxed. He probably want trying to charge Reek for a little interview, whatever. So I'm gonna just lead out of that. Follow the principle the leader is teaching. Follow the principle the leader is teaching. Go get the teaching for yourself. You know? Those that are speaking. Hey. Oh, she's hard. Hard, infamous. He said you're going too hard. I'm gonna slow down a little bit.
It's just the truth. Like it's there. You just gotta look for it. Like, and a lot of people don't know, where to start looking. And then you have these fake ass people who don't give a damn about nothing but trying to get some money out of you, but trying to make it seem like they your brother, but they not.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a lot of them out there.
That's fine. We don't have to share the same opinions, Reek. That's fine. But niggas is all for self. That's all they all been for. Especially Polite. That nigga with him and his fucking, what he said, four wives, 3 wives, whatever the fuck. That nigga is just, don't get me started.
Who got 3 wives?
Polite has, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 wives.
What's his name? Bro Polite or some shit?
Brother Polite, yeah. You Google him. He was, and then he's with the shits, trust me.
Reek, yeah, I'm gonna have to holler at you after this little thing though, man, about somebody, Just hit my line when you get done. Leaders that get triggered from small word of misunderstanding. There's a lot of those out there, man. Bible talked about people who work all day in the field. Others were just waiting for someone to tell them what to do. At the end of the day, they got paid the same. And when you get knowledge, doesn't matter how you all profit. Just like they say, you can teach somebody how to fish. I don't remember the rest of the words though, but
It's if you give a man a fish, you feed him for one day. You teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime.
Thank you, infamous. Yes, I got a little bit of that do it to you fluid in me, so I don't, man, last day off work, I gotta do it big.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that completely. I've been hustling. That's why I sound the way I do, y'all. I'm sorry. It's coming close to 24 hours of being up. That shit will get at you.
Shame a day get came sooner in life. I'm happy I got it eventually. Man, game is everywhere though, man. You
That's
just gotta
right.
listen. Right, you gotta just listen to the right people. You can't listen to the people that think they just on top of everybody, whatever. Like I listen to young people and older people, and people my age. Everybody got a little bit of game in them. It's just how you come about it. You can't act like you bigger than the next man, because everybody in the same boat. So whether you got money or you don't got money. We mean the same thing. We all trying to survive this game called life. All
And
right, good night. Blessings to you, Dex.
and the thing about what life is, and I hate to sound morbid, but nobody gets out alive.
All right, Larry. See you, mate. Catch you on this next one, man. We're going to be on Shad and the infamous, nah. Matter of fact, rated Shad and the infamous Lisa Smith. You know what I'm saying? On what we on? We're gonna be on 9 or 10 or something like that.
number
Hey.
number 8, because this is number 7.
Number 7, number 8, number 9, something like that. We got it, man. If he dies, he dies. Gotta get it. That's gonna be my trademark whenever I come in. Hey. Yeah, they think they live forever. Can't take none of the money and none of the hoes and nothing with you, man.
That's right.
Getting that casket and get 6 feet deep. Some of you motherfuckers are going 12 feet deep. So hey, just live life like you live it. Live every day like your last day. That's how I go about it. So who all on here? Everybody here. Hate is great. Much love, Larry. Peace, man. So who all on here, man? We probably finna cut it out. I know Lisa kind of tired, but she got to get to her little fizzle. Malcolm X getting a statue. Nah, you heard about that? Where they supposed to be putting a statue at? Good night, bro. Catch you on the next one, man. I don't know if it's gonna be me or I might get Reek back his channel for a little minute.
I think everybody closing out, so I am.
Yeah.
I'll catch you on the flip side, Shad.
All right, number 8. 8 is always great.